a very significant federal case taking shape here in our state that we've been covering all day. 15 people accused of interfering with immigration enforcement operations during Operation Metro Surge. Now, buried in a nearly 100-page indictment is a word that is getting people's attention from the jump: Antifa. The Department of Justice alleges some of the defendants they charged today have ties to Antifa groups. So what does that actually mean? Here's Sammy.
Painting a picture of an Antifa conspiracy, federal prosecutors accused 15 people of violently impeding immigration enforcement in the Twin Cities this year.
This action is not peaceful. It's obstructive, disruptive, and unlawful.
Daniel Rosen, U.S. District Attorney, claimed defendants were members of Minneapolis groups connected with Antifa. The indictment shows pages of signal messages, with some suggesting protesters should use more force. There were examples of people following ICE, creating blockades, and damaging agents' vehicles.
Not talking about peaceful protests anymore. We're not talking about having polite conversations anymore.
Rosen showed this video of Kyle Wagner in a bulletproof vest, saying Preddy may not have died if people brought guns to the federal Whipple building. He is among the indicted and was arrested back in February.
What kind of injuries did officers sustain as part of these campaigns, if any? Can you elaborate on that?
I can't elaborate on that today, and I don't believe I used the word attacks, but if I did, I stand by it.
When Rosen was asked about the definition of Antifa, he didn't give one.
So what is Antifa goes beyond, I think, the scope of what this indictment is.
So could you explain what Antifa is?
Sure. Antifa is short for anti-fascism in a number of languages, and it's a politics or a strategy of resistance to the far right from below. It's not itself an organization. There's no leader, there's no headquarters. It's a transnational movement that's existed for decades.
Mark Bray is a historian and author on Antifa.
Trump wants us to think that protest is terrorism. Trump wants us to think that the Democratic Party and the left are violent extremists hell-bent on destroying everything.
He believes the federal administration is making an example of those charged.
This federal government, which is accusing people of intent to violence, is the government that let the January 6th insurrectionaries off the hook.
He says even if there are convictions, he doesn't believe it will dull the fire.
I think it's pretty clear that when you look at the model of resistance that was carried out in the streets of Minneapolis, of this kind of broad-based popular opposition to ICE from everyday people from all walks of life, bringing themselves out to oppose ICE on the streets.
Sammy Solina.
So that's really the takeaway from this era of resistance and ICE.
KARE 11 News.
So as you heard him explain, it's kind of Antifa is something that's hard to actually explain because there is no centralized location or leader. As far as the charges, more to come on those to see what happens as they proceed through the courts.